Cooper Saxe has never been one to trust, and especially with his track record, I'm sure one man, someone like Davis Maclean, a lawyer with an undefeated record, would have done his homework. But who does Saxe have on the stand? And why does Tariq look so terrified when someone walks into the courtroom? And if Saxe has turned on their deal, what's Maclean's plan B? I'm talking all about Tasha's case, all about Maclean and Saxe. So welcome back to MovieBot, and let's talk about Saxe versus Maclean.
His innocence has led him to the cold hard steel of the shackle.
So hope you're all doing great, and welcome to another mid-season trailer analysis video. And if you've missed any of my key storylines that I've gone through from the mid-season trailer, then I'll link all the videos down below. I've gone through Drew, Lil Guap, Monet versus Tasha, and Effie and Tariq, all in detail. And today I'm talking all about what we saw from Cooper Saxe, Davis Maclean and Tariq and Tasha with regards to her case. But if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, remember to smash the subscribe button, and if you enjoy this video then remember to like it, and let's see if we can get to 500 likes on this video. But let's start by talking about the deal that Cooper Saxe and Davis Maclean made. As a quick recap from what we saw at the end of episode 5, we saw Saxe catching Tariq on camera saying he did it, but that piece of evidence really won't hold up much. But him and Maclean finished making a deal where Maclean would get his customary win and Saxe would get his man for shooting Ghost. But could the deal be trusted from either party? And that was the question. You could say that the deal could be trusted from Maclean's side, especially based on what we saw in the mid-season trailer, because we saw a clip with Maclean saying, "I thought we had a deal, Saxe." And although there was a fan theory on whether Maclean and Tariq were working together to frame Saxe, it didn't really make sense, and it was a bit of a reach, because why would Maclean be helping Tariq? Maclean would just be digging himself his own grave. So I genuinely think that Maclean will be going ahead with trying to get Tasha off the hook and have Tariq go down for the murder of Ghost at the start until Saxe turns on the deal. And for Maclean, he looks like he will do anything to get a win for his client by any means necessary. So his character description was right, and Carrie was actually right when she warned Tariq that a win for Maclean doesn't necessarily mean a win for his client. So Maclean, he really is ruthless, and considering he has an unbeaten record, you can see why he has this unbeaten record, because he will do anything to get a win for his client. And in Maclean's words, it's not what you can prove, it's what you can sell to a jury. So do I expect Maclean to remain undefeated? Yes, I do. And do I think he has a plan B up his sleeve? He might do, considering he knows how dodgy Saxe is, and he's not very trustworthy. And well, Davis Maclean is one of the best lawyers, and he knows the game, so I'm sure he knows Cooper Saxe well enough to know he can't be trusted. But for Saxe, turning on this deal, in my opinion, this is what will be his ultimate downfall, because this is what could lead Maclean to looking for a plan B. And now that Maclean knows the whole truth, all he needs to do is just make the jury believe his side of the story, and his quote about "it's what you can sell to a jury" is what I believe we'll see in the last half of the season. Now, we could never trust Cooper Saxe to hold his end of the deal up, because a leopard never changes his spots, and we know Cooper Saxe wouldn't keep his word. And I think Cooper Saxe actually had a great deal in letting Maclean get his win for his client, and then him getting his man in Tariq. But the problem is, this is way above Saxe's pay grade, because the Democrat Party don't just want the murder of Ghost to be put to bed, they want the whole kingpin shit swept under the carpet. And although I believe Cooper Saxe believes that he finally has his man in Tariq, he can probably find evidence to charge him for the murder of Ghost, but he won't be able to charge him under the kingpin statute, because let's face it, everybody knows he's not the kingpin. So someone has to go down for this shit, and the DNC really want all of this swept under the carpet, not because I believe Ghost is pulling the strings from behind, but because it's a real bad image for them if Ghost's true past life comes to light in the public, because this can cause some real reputable damage. But about Saxe going after Tariq, if he does, all Tariq needs to do is flip the script by telling everybody that Cooper Saxe was there, and he'd have a hard time explaining why he was there at truth with a gun, even though he wasn't the one who pulled the trigger. And this is another reason why Saxe has a problem, and maybe another reason why he turned on the deal. Tariq can also say he was drugged by Riley on Saxe's orders, if he knows he was, that is, and I feel this moment will actually come back to bite Saxe as well. Now I'm going to give my opinion on how I think this could play out, and it's the same prediction I made before the series started, so I'm going to talk about that in just a moment. But the conversation that Tariq and Tasha had over the phone, where he was questioning whether Maclean knows everything that actually happened, and pretty much that proves Maclean and Tariq weren't working together, and Maclean must have questioned Tasha on something or said something to her that made her realize that Maclean knows. Now Maclean knows everything. So I said before, the theory of Tasha, Maclean and Tariq working together and Tariq luring Saxe to the graveyard, it pretty much puts that theory to bed. But now that Saxe has turned on the deal, Maclean is going to need to come up with something else to defend his client. And we see a little glimpse of Maclean talking to someone on the phone, and he says, "You know everything." And I'm wondering who this phone conversation is actually with, because personally I don't believe it's with Tasha, because if he wanted to speak to Tasha and tell her that she's not being truthful with him, then he can do that face to face. He doesn't need to do it over the phone. And we've already seen him call out Tasha before, but there really is one man who does know everything, and that man is Tommy Egan. But could he really be having a conversation with Tommy? I would love it if he was, and they just kept this person on the other end of the line a secret and have Tommy walk through those doors in court, because I think it would just be fucking epic. Tasha's face would drop, Tariq would be shitting it, because besides Tasha and Tariq, Tommy is one man that knows everything that went down. But the key thing to remember here is Tommy isn't no snitch, and I actually do believe he'll return, but only when Tasha is released from prison, because he is someone who will take the law into his own hands, and that's a fact. But the reason I'm bringing Tommy Egan up is because Courtney Kemp did tease a familiar face could be returning, and she made reference to Tasha and her case. So just to quote what Courtney Kemp said, for those who don't know, she said by the end of the season, you're going to see a very familiar face. Remember how I said a familiar face would show up at some point? I don't know, if someone said in court that I did something that I didn't do, I might feel compelled to show up and maybe, talk to them about it. So this is what Courtney Kemp said. Now it's worth noting sometimes she does throw us fans off, but I think with this one, with Tasha constantly name dropping Tommy Egan, it certainly does point to him returning at some stage. And she said a familiar face would be coming back by the end of the season. A familiar face won't be Lars Alonso or Jackie Long. I feel what Courtney Kemp said, if it turns out to be true, then it has to be Tommy. So I'll link the videos down below that I made on Tommy's return, which has my predictions for him down below, so make sure you check those videos out next. But I am going to be making another video on Tommy and Tariq tomorrow, so make sure you got your notification bells turned on for that one. But let's talk a bit about my prediction for Saxe, because I touched on it earlier, because those who know me and those who have been following me for a while and have been watching my videos know I made a prediction of how Cooper Saxe will eventually go to prison. He may be pinned for the murder or maybe even something else. I made this prediction before book 2 started, and I'm going to stick to it, and I'm going to stand by my prediction. And what actually played out in the mid-season trailer is what I think will be Cooper Saxe's downfall, with him backing out of the deal from Maclean, because this really would have been the end of that, and Saxe would have finally got his win, as well as Maclean getting his win. But we've not seen Saxe get a win in the whole series of Power, and I don't think they're going to give him one now. I just think with him being at Truth, him having Riley follow Tariq and then Riley drugging him, Saxe pulling out of the deal with Maclean, and all of the other dodgy shit that he's done, putting the recording device on Elisa Marie's keychain, and everything else which Tamika, Blanca Rodriguez can bring to light. And JA made a good point about Jacob Werner. He was about to throw Saxe out of his office, and he also knows how dirty he is as well. So could Werner hold the key? Drop me your comments down below on Jacob Werner. But Saxe, I think he's just built a grave so deep that there's no way of him getting out. Eventually, he will be the man that's going to be going down, and Tasha will finally be free, and we'll see Maclean be the family lawyer for Tariq the way Proctor was for Ghost. But that's just my opinion anyway, so let me know what your thoughts are on this situation that we saw play out in the mid-season trailer with Saxe and Maclean, and Tariq with regards to Tasha's case. And could Jacob Werner come back along with Tamika and Blanca? Could they reveal Saxe's true colours? Drop me your thoughts and comments down below, and if you're new to the channel, then don't forget to smash the subscribe button. Tomorrow I'll be back bringing you a video about Tommy and Tariq, so make sure you got your notification bells turned on for that one as well. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.